It is essential that we as teachers teach and assess at all the cognitive levels. This will ensure that the learners get a full understanding of the subject and don't just have the knowledge, but truly understand it, and then of course get a good chance of performing better. The 3 cognitive levels that we need to make sure we include all the time is the low order thinking, which is the knowledge and facts, your middle order thinking, understanding and reasoning, and then of course the highest order of thinking, which is your judgment and your metacognition, your self-reflection on your thoughts. Now for business studies, these 3 levels are divided up into a percentage weighting, and this determines how much of each of these levels should be assessed and how much we should set at this particular level. But more importantly, it gives us a very good guide of how much time we should be spending developing these different cognitive skills. Now in business, 30% of our time should be spent on basic thinking skills. 50% on our middle order thinking, which is your analyzing, interpreting, and applying. And then another 20% on evaluating and synthesizing scientific knowledge. So if you think about the classroom, while you're teaching, you should be developing these skills. So 20% of your time should be developing the skills of evaluating and synthesizing. Now, if we were to put into practice in terms of what are we actually asking the learners to do in business studies, both in assessments and during classroom discussions, well, 30% of our time and percentage of the assessment should be looking at asking the learners to define, to describe, and compare. And remember, that's only 30% of our time. 50% of the time should be asking the learners to predict, judge, implement, or solve. And most importantly, and this is the section we often forget, or the part we often forget, is 20% of our time should be looking at giving the learners opportunities to provide opinion and explain trends, patterns, and results, and really think out of the box. Now, it's important that we apply all of these different levels, not just in our assessment, but in all our teaching as well. And this way, we're going to give our learners an extra chance to really perform well in the final assessments.